Joining us now, as she does every Monday, Mondays with Megyn. Meghan McCain, host of Citizen McCain, a great podcast, plus, of course, the daughter of the late, great Senator John McCain. Hi, Megyn. How are you?
Hi, thanks for having me.
So let's talk Epstein files. So Trump has fought this tooth and nail, Bruce?
It's tooth and nail is the terminology,
I mean, he doesn't want any of this stuff released.
No.
We saw some stuff that was released, didn't make Trump look good. And then today, or I think it was last night, he says, this is a fantastic idea.
Brilliant.
Let's release all of them.
Love it.
Does anyone, nobody buys this, right? Trump doesn't have to call on House Republicans to vote to release the file. He's the president of the United States. He could do it right now, right?
This story is like the most insufferable story to follow for so long, because it's like one day Attorney General Pam Bondi is saying, like, I have the file on my desk and we're about to release it. And the next day we're saying, actually, there's no fight list and it was all a red herring and it doesn't exist. And then these like text messages come out and they're really hard to interpret, like what's hyperbole and what's real. Michael Wolff is involved in that. And he's, in my opinion, one of like the least trustworthy journalists on planet Earth. And I've had many interactions with him he is, I think, a fraud and a liar and a fabulous. So I don't trust that either. But then obviously at the same time, there's this huge fracture between Trump and Marjorie Taylor Greene. And she said it's all over the Epstein files. And I have thought it was a mistake from the beginning for the Trump administration not just to release all the information. It's one of the tenets he ran on. It's really important to his base. I know we've spoken on here, like it's less important to you, Gaydos, and I understand that. But it is something, for whatever reason, is entirely important to his base of supporters. And he has no other option other than to release it. And if he's in it, he's in it, and he's going to have to deal with the ramifications of that.
Well, I think he should release it. I think it's important to release it. He said he was going to release it. Let's release the whole thing. Let's take a look at it. I mean, I hate to say this, but I'm going to say it.
Oh, boy.
Why should we believe anything that's in those files? Because he's going to destroy stuff.
Absolutely.
Right?
He's having him go through it and edit it all. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he could go through it line by line if he wants.
He wants to scratch Trump out and write Clinton in everywhere they find it there, right?
Yeah, and remember the files that were released, but it was like all black lines on everything. And
it was page after page of just blacked out stuff.
I am so sick of this story because I agree with you that one way or another, I just don't think we're going to get the truth. And I think the truth is it's a lot worse than we know. And it probably has a lot more famous people than even we have all like surmised. And I think sadly and pathetically, like our country and our government and probably many giant schools of power and different factions of our society are probably run by disgusting, horrific perverts that should be in jail. And, you know, when you hear that, like, Bill Gates' wife left him over what she found out about Bill Gates and the Epstein files, I guess, pretty bad.
Sure.
Pretty bad when Melinda Gates says that. So, like, none of us have to have files in front of us to know that it's, like, probably one of the worst things that's happened in modern American history. I just think a lot of people are frustrated, myself included, that those people continue to get away with pedophilia and God knows what else, and still probably have, again, Bill Gates is one of the people running the entire world.
Well, and can I tell you, I've pointed out before, none of the alleged abusers outside of Epstein and Maxwell have ever even been in court or charged anything.
Yeah, no. And again, it's like egregious malfeasance. I don't understand why. And it feeds into the narrative and the idea from so many millions upon millions of Americans, myself included, that there is just a different level of that you can be too big to fail. That like there are certain people that have so much money and so much power that they can literally sexually abuse children and get away with it in broad daylight and get away with it. It's horrific. And I think I understand why people are so pissed off and upset about it. And it's a huge tactical political error for the Trump administration and President Trump himself to have fumbled this so badly.
Meghan McCain is joining us Mondays with Megyn. You know what's a bad idea? Go on TV and question whether Epstein was a pedophile.
Dude.
Wow.
Dude.
You guys.
Let me play it. Let me play it.
Can we play it?
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Megyn Kelly.
I do know somebody very, very close to this case who is in a position to know virtually everything. And this person has told me from the start, years and years ago, that Jeffrey Epstein, in this person's view, was not a pedophile, but that he was into the barely legal type. Like he liked 15-year-old girls. And I realize this is disgusting. I'm definitely not trying to make an excuse for this. I'm just giving you facts. That he wasn't into like 8-year-olds, but he liked the very young teen types that could pass for even younger than they were, but would look legal to a passerby.
Megyn?
Wow.
Go ahead.
I mean, there's so many layers to this, starting with we all host things. When you're getting ready for a show, you go over with your producers your topics. And somebody pitched, let's have a conversation about what level of diet pedophilia a Saturday Night Live set is fine. I have no idea what she is thinking. I have no idea what she's doing. It's disgusting. It's egregious. It's extremely triggering for people who have been victims of sexual assault as children at any age, and that age is 0 to 18. There's this thing that's going on in particularly conservative media where it feels like everyone is just trying to outdo each other with more crazy, where it's like normalizing Hitler apologists or, claiming that like there's some giant cabal of people at Turning Point that murdered Charlie Kirk or whatever. Like it's like one crazy, insane thing after another. And I was almost wondering if it was like she just got caught up ahead of herself trying to like outdo with clickbait and rage bait, or if like, I don't know if she actually believes this, but if she does, that's obviously monstrous and hideous and nothing to in any way, I think that conversation is wholeheartedly inappropriate and beneath everyone. And there's a lot of people coming out that are very angry about the things she said, including a National Sexual Abuse Association. It's really gross. And I'm so disappointed. So many people in my industry, particularly in the past few months, is like, what is going on? Is everyone just turning into a demonic monster? It's horrible. What do you guys think?
I think it's disgusting.
Yeah, it sounded a heck of a lot like trying to make excuses for levels of pedophilia.
I actually thought it was AI. I thought somebody was messing with it.
So you immediately went to that, this could be rigged. This is too crazy to be real.
I thought it was AI.
Wow.
I thought somebody wanted to make her
that
look
really
bad.
says something.
Sure does.
But but she, she works in independent media. Independent media, you take ownership of yourself. I think she has a deal with SiriusXM, and there's not a lot of ramifications for doing things right. Like, that's what's kind of scary about this moment to me is like, you can interview Nick Fuentes and give him a really, and that's a, famous neo-Nazi, and give him the most softball-y of softball interviews I've ever seen. And the president of the United States can come out and say it's fine. Like, I just really, really am very concerned about the guardrails that are being moved in our culture and our politics right now. And that is everything from saying it's okay to interview a neo-Nazi and not press them on the abhorrent things they think and say, to having a conversation about what you think is appropriate when it comes to ages of pedophilia. And by the way, Megyn Kelly, nobody really cares what you think because the law is the law, and anything under 18 is disgusting. And I found her use of the words barely legal very alarming. It's like a porn term, like not graphic on your show, but like what are we talking about? Also, she has a young daughter. I have young daughters. Like, it's just really disturbing. And I think sometimes I think outrage is overwrought, and people sometimes just, are outraged to be outraged. This, I think, is valid in why people are so upset.
Megyn, I remember, like you, I would call them the good old days when you could say things like, pedophilia and Nazis are bad, and people wouldn't argue with you. I mean, who knew that stuff is now open to debate?
Yeah, I'm having a very difficult time. It's not about me, but it's more like, we all work in this industry in one form or another. And I'm very confused by just the standards of the Overton window of the standards of what's acceptable in society in general. It seems to be moving very quickly in a very disturbing direction. And again, it's I would consider, they call it the woke right that's doing it. And my concern is, and I always use Arizona as the example, are people not aware that independent voters exist and center-right and center-left voters who are just in no way ever going to fly with this? And if people think putting these kinds of people up on pedestals as the absolute voices for our party is going to land the way you think it is, then again, I think you're wildly misinformed and ill-advised on what you think the world looks like. And I just don't understand why people don't understand that there will be consequences for this.
Yeah.
And it will probably happen at the ballot box in the midterms.
Megyn McCain's joining us on KTAR. Former First Lady Michelle Obama said America's not ready for a woman in the Oval Office. She argued men nationwide don't want to be led by a female president. What do you think?
Well, she also said, the question was, will you run for president? And she was she basically said, America doesn't deserve me. And I've been following Michelle Obama's press tour for quite a while now, and that's another person that I think like just needs to take a beat and not be answering some of the things that, like she said last week, which just we had a field day with on my show. She said like it's a huge burden to have a hair and makeup glam team of 3 people every day. People don't know how hard it is, and like extremely
you don't know the pain.
And yes, and again, the economic moment, so many people are suffering it in this country. Like, give me a break here. I do think the American public is ready for a woman president. I think it's got to be the right woman. With all due respect to Hillary Clinton and Vice President Harris, I don't think that they were great candidates for a lot of different reasons. And I also believe that the first female president, this is just my bias, and there's a lot of history in other countries to back this up, I think will be a conservative woman.
Yeah,
and I think it's going to happen in my lifetime. And I think people need to give the American public at large more credit than this and stop making it about our anatomy. Harris and Clinton were not great candidates. They just weren't. I'm sorry if that is controversial and some people don't want to hear it, but look at the numbers. And I think there will be a really great woman that will run for president, probably in the not so distant future. And I look forward to it. And I just don't believe it. I don't concede it. Of course, like misogyny exists in the world. Of course, I'm not negating that. But I just think if there was like a really powerful, inspiring female candidate that, a lot of people responded to and didn't have to force themselves to respond to because they are female, I think they would become president.
Marjorie Taylor Greene.
That's what I was thinking.
There we go.
Here we go. We can all
Not
agree.
her.
We can all agree.
I've never seen a turn like this. This is unbelievable.
Talk about a 180.
I like what she's saying now. This is pretty good. I'm not for the.
I don't trust her.
I don't trust her either. I don't like the MAGA stuff on the right. I don't like the woke stuff from the left. But I got to tell you, like Marjorie Taylor Greene, I never thought I'd say this, is making a lot of sense these days.
I'll never get past Jewish space lasers with her.
I know.
Sorry.
I know.
You mean that's not a thing? Hold on. Come on.
And just is like so anti-Semitic and just like crazy.
I know.
But one of the things with her too is like she's saying like, I've been attacked and I was called a traitor and I got targeted. And I literally was like, who else was called a traitor and was targeted? And I didn't hear you say anything.
Yeah.
Why, once upon a time, like, it's like, I'll believe it when she starts defending people, who are not MAGA that have been targeted by the president in one way or another. Or if she like comes out in defense of like, I don't know, a Liz Cheney, a John Fetterman, whatever. I just don't really, I'm not buying it. And I'm not entirely sure what she's doing. And her politics are, no matter what this is repackaged in primetime on The View, like I see her for what she is, and her politics are way too extreme for me. And her America Only platform is the thing she's pushing right now. And America Only means we do not care at all, one iota, about any other country that exists on planet Earth except America. And it's our interest and our interest only. And I think that is almost criminally insane perspective.
I agree. It's ridiculous.
Meghan McCain, everybody.
Megyn, thank you.
Talk to you next Monday.
Thank you. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate it.
All right.
Wonderful night.
Meghan McCain, Mondays with Megyn, every Monday at 5.
Thanks for watching Outspoken with Bruce and Gaydos. Tap to watch more from KTAR News and click the button in the middle to subscribe.